Hello again, my name is Rose Jean and I'm reporting for my final set of observation that I've completed at Selby Preschool in Sarasota. I went back to Selby Preschool because there was two particular teachers that I wanted to observe and didn't get to observe their classroom last time I was there. So, and also I did promise that I was coming back to observe. So that was one of the reasons I went back there. Again, it's a really great environment. It's a really great school. The focus is more on children with developmental disabilities. But there's also children that are typically developing that are part of the program. The two classrooms that I've observed is Miss Penny's classroom. It's a Montessori classroom, ages 3 to 6 years old. She had 18 children in her class, and she had two assistants that was helping her in the classroom. The second teacher that I've observed is by the name of Miss Mary. She had 9 children in her class, and those children are ages 2 to 4. And Miss Mary was very nice and friendly, down to earth, very respectful in her teaching, in her directions and instructions. I did notice there was a lot of organizing going in that classroom. Everything was organized and put in the right place. She had a welcoming sign on the door, and she also had a bulletin board in the hallway that contained the children's artworks for the week, and there was also the lessons plan and the daily schedule that was attached to the board as well. There was a sign about the day of the week, which day of the week it was. Everything was in the right place. But what I did notice with Miss Mary's class is that there was a lot of energy happening in the classroom. The children were very loud and not following direction as much. I felt like there was a lack of classroom management coming from the lead teacher, Miss Mary. She was very warm, very respectful towards the children and their work, and how she approaches them, how she redirects them. She was being very respectful, and she gets down to each child level as she talks to them. She put her hand on their back as a way, I guess, to get their attention. But I felt like there was so much misbehavior going on that she could not control. It's like she did not really have a good handle on the children and how they behave. She tries as much to redirect the bad behaviors, and she also talked about how she doesn't want to give too much attention to the wrong behaviors, so she tried to praise the good behaviors that was happening. But she was very sweet, but there was no the children were not listening to her directions. As she tries to talk to them or redirect them towards something, either they walked away as she calls on their name. They walked away and was smiling. Yeah. So she was being very professional, I felt like, but at the same time I felt like something was missing. The fact that she could not manage the children, she could not manage the behavior that was going on, and the fact that the children were not listening to her. But in overall, it was a good experience being in her class. She got down to each child level and try to work with them individually. She does a lot of teachable moments in the children's activities. For example, if a child were playing with colored blocks, she used that opportunity to talk about the colors of the blocks and the shapes of the blocks, and so I thought that was very interesting to see. But what really bothered me was the fact that she could not manage the children and the behavior that was going on. So as a result of that, I felt like there was a lot of frustrations coming from her and coming from the children, because they were not listening to her instructions. In Miss Penny's classroom, in the other hand, she was I felt there was a lot of good energy in that classroom, coming from the teachers and the children as well. Miss Penny was very energetic. She shows a lot of passion in her work. She talks about the reasons why she comes to work each day. She was very happy in the environment, and she uses every moment to teach the children some valuable lessons. And one of the things that I thought was very interesting to see with her, since her classroom was a Montessori setup, which the children does the work individually and they ask for help as needed. They each had their own folders of their work that they had to do for the day. The schedule was attached to the board in the hallway, along with children's activities, the lunch menu, and the daily schedule was attached to it. The lessons plan was attached to the board. So as you coming into the classroom, it's like you already have an idea of how the routine is, due to everything that was on the board. She also, I had a chance to see her in action doing circle time, as she was doing a flannel board story with of the bad wolf and the three little pigs, and the children's attention was shifted towards her as she was explaining the story. The children was very involved, asking questions and being very happy with the answers that they get. They were laughing and singing together. It was a very, very great environment. I got a lot of good vibe from that classroom. The experience in overall was really nice. She took the time to work with each child individually, and what I noticed with her is that if a child had issues with something that they were working on, she don't just go and give them the answer. She sat down and work with them and see where their mind is at, and try to work on the answer together instead of giving them the right answer to whatever questions they were asking. I thought that was a really good strategy that she uses with each child that she works in. And the interesting thing is that there was different levels, age levels in her classroom, different developmental levels, where there was one child with vision problem. There was another child with a physical disability where if she has to move from one place to the other, she has to use a walker. There was another child that was that had very sensitive issues when it comes to lights and sounds. Everything that was loud that she could not take, or anything that was too bright, she could not deal with. And she tries in every way possible to make each child comfortable in the environment, and making sure that they each have their the things that they need to learn in the environment. Every child that needed help with something, they always call Penny, because they loved the energy that was coming from her, and how she respected every child, and got down to their level, and making sure she explained everything to their level of understanding, breaking it down so each child understand on their level. So that was very, very good to see. I admire her strength, her passion, and the energy that was coming from her, and her classroom as well. It was a very, very nice environment to be in, and I enjoyed the time that I spent observing her. In overall, my experience there was awesome. Every staff that I encountered was very nice, very friendly. There was also a lot of transition going on with certain children that had to go to therapy. Some of them received speech, occupational therapy, or physical therapy. Even through the transition, each child was very humble, very warm, and very happy. They seems to be very involved in their learning, and how they go about doing each activity. So that was very, very nice to see. I enjoy my observation, and I really wish that I could keep doing it, but unfortunately that's the end of the journey for us, for this class. So in overall, I enjoy the time that I spent observing in each school, in each classroom that I got a chance to observe. I learned different things from different teachers, and I took away a lot that I would use in my own classroom one day. And I really do hope that those experiences help me improve in my journey as a teacher, and as a future educator as well.